You know those live audio chats on platforms like X? We've probably all jumped into one. They feel so casual, right? Almost like a public phone call, spontaneous, unscripted. But what if I told you those conversations aren't just disappearing into thin air? What if they're being collected and used for things you've probably never even thought of? Yeah, what starts as just a simple chat can uncover some really uncomfortable truths. So let's dig in and figure out what's really going on here. And this isn't some line from a sci-fi movie. This is a real person making a real accusation to an AI, of all things, right in the middle of a live conversation for everyone to hear. It's just, wow. This one moment really gets to the heart of this huge disconnect between what we think is happening with our data online and what's actually happening. So you gotta wonder, how did we even get here to a point where someone is openly calling out an AI during a live chat? Well, the story starts somewhere super familiar to pretty much all of us. Just a casual public Q&A session, nothing special. And it all kicked off with a really, really simple question. Okay, so this is the guy Alberto Daniel Hill. And here's the thing you need to know about him. He's not just some random person online. No, he's a cybersecurity professional. This is his world. He's always hosting these live chats, diving deep into stuff like hacking, privacy, AI, the heavy topics. And one day, he decided he was going to ask an AI a very pointed question. And honestly, it's a question any of us could have asked. It's super simple. Hey, if I'm the one hosting this thing and I make a point not to hit the record button, is this conversation just temporary? Does it just vanish into the digital ether once we're done? It really seems like it should be a straightforward yes or no, right? So he puts the question to the AI directly, and the AI gives them an answer. And look, it's an answer that sounds perfectly clear, totally reassuring. It's the official line, you could say. But, and you probably saw this coming, that official story, yeah, it's about to completely fall apart.
I mean, that's exactly the answer we'd all hope to hear, isn't it? It sounds so clean. It's a clear, this is our policy kind of response that says, hey, the host is in charge. You see that little red rec icon isn't lit up. So you think, great, this chat is private, it'll be gone when we hang up. Total peace of mind.
So, case closed, right? That should be it. The end of the story. The user has control, the policy is crystal clear, we can all go home. But then, someone else in that very same live chat speaks up, and they drop a piece of information that just blows the AI's answer right out of the water. Yeah, a million a month. This other user starts talking about some third-party service that's out there just archiving these conversations, all of them, whether the host hits record or not. And just like that, the AI's neat, tidy, reassuring answer starts to completely unravel. And what's underneath is, well, it's a whole lot messier. This whole mess is a perfect example of something researchers have a name for. They call it the privacy placebo. And it's all about that gap, that giant chasm, really, between the little buttons and toggles they give us to make us feel in control and what's really going on with our data behind the curtain.
And this really gets to the heart of the problem. It's like a tale of two policies. On one side, you have what you can see, the user interface. A simple record space toggle, a little red rec light, things designed to make you feel like you're the pilot. But then on the other side, you've got the hidden reality. The fact that literally anybody can record a live stream with third-party tools. And maybe more importantly, the platform's own terms of service, the stuff nobody reads, gives them huge rights to your conversations, no matter what that little toggle says.
And that right there is the privacy placebo in action. See, when we think a conversation is off the record or temporary, what do? We open up, right? We get more personal, we might share sensitive stories, talk about medical stuff or financial worries, all because we feel safe in that moment. That feeling of safety, that's the placebo. The problem is, the actual privacy, it isn't real. So that leads to the million-dollar question. Why? I mean, why would a platform even want access to millions upon millions of hours of just rambling, casual human conversation? The answer is actually pretty simple. In fact, it's the engine that drives the entire modern tech industry. It's because your conversations are being used to train artificial intelligence. Plain and simple. Every single word, every laugh, every hesitation, every argument, it all gets turned into a data point. This raw, unfiltered stream of human chatter is an incredibly valuable resource for building and improving AI. For them, it is a conversational gold mine. And we're talking way beyond just teaching an AI what words mean. No, the goal here is to analyze how we speak. They want to train AI to pick up on our emotional tones, to detect different kinds of aggression, to finally understand sarcasm and all the messy nuance of human speech. They want to build AI with more personality. And then there's the really alarming stuff, like using the sound of your voice to try and predict medical issues like heart failure. Suddenly, your voice isn't just your voice anymore. It's a biometric signature. This brings up another really important idea, something called context collapse. Think about it. When you share a really personal story in what feels like a safe, supportive group chat, there's a whole human context there, right? There's trust, empathy. But when an algorithm gets a hold of that story, all of that human context just gets stripped away. It collapses. Your moment of vulnerability just becomes another cold data point, completely ripe for being misunderstood or misused. So what's the bottom line? Well, this whole process basically transforms your voice, your stories, your personal expression into a corporate asset. And you better believe this isn't happening in some legal no man's land. No, this whole practice is heading for a massive collision course with some major laws and regulations. Yeah, and a lot of places, what they're doing is legally shaky, to say the least. You've got states like California and Florida with what are called all-party consent laws. That means every single person in a conversation has to agree to being recorded. A little toggle that only the host controls, that doesn't even come close to meeting that standard. Then if you're in Europe, you've got GDPR, which is all about data minimization, only collecting what you absolutely need. So recording everything by default, that's a pretty big conflict. And on top of all that, the EU's brand new AI Act calls this kind of emotion analysis from your voice high risk, which means it's going to be under a massive microscope.
So you're probably thinking, how on earth do they get away with this? Well, it's the oldest trick in the book. It's buried deep inside those long, boring terms of service that nobody ever reads. By clicking agree and just using the platform, you are granting them a worldwide, non-exclusive, royalty-free license to your content. That means they can use it, copy it, and process it for pretty much anything, including, you guessed it, AI training. It's consent by default, not you making an active, informed choice.
Which really brings us all the way back to that final nagging question. In this new world of live audio and incredibly powerful AI, the next time you jump into a conversation and speak your mind, who else is listening? Or maybe more accurately, what else is listening? What is it analyzing? And what is it learning from the sound of your voice? And you have to ask yourself, is that a price you're actually willing to pay?